Hey everybody, this is Eric Worre and welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. I'm here with my friend BK Boreyko, and BK is a guy who, he's a company owner now, but he's built large organizations, and he's actually built a large organization that is his company. Not only is he an owner, but he's really has the understanding of organization building. And BK, first of all, thanks for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Eric, and I want to congratulate you on your book. You're #1 in a lot of categories, and what I love about you taking the initiative to write a book and promote it so well is that you bring credibility to this industry, and you're making everybody look good. And so I have encouraged every one of my wonderful brand partners all around the world to get on Amazon.com, order a copy, because the skill set you need to master to become great at this industry is something that you can master, but you need to learn from the masters, and I consider you one of the masters out there.
Wow, I appreciate that very much. And what I wanted to do is I wanted you to kind of imagine that the Network Marketing Pro audience is sitting in an auditorium right now. There's a couple 100,000 people in this huge arena.
Where's everybody going to eat?
And they've already eaten, and you're coming up to stage, and they're from hundreds of different companies around the world, hundreds of countries around the world. You're going to come up on stage and offer them some guidance, some direction, some wisdom from your experience, because you've been doing this for a long time.
Don't say how long, because I
won't say how long. But you've been doing it a long time, still looking good at this early stage. We're almost at halfway point of our lives. But what would you offer to them as far as some advice, some some input?
Well, first I would say shave even on Fridays, because you never know when Eric's going to call you and say, "Hey, want to get on a Google Hangout?" But I think the one point that I would like to really drive home is the fact that this industry can change your life no matter where you're starting at. And as I travel around the world and I hear people come up to me and tell me their stories, and I share with them some of the wisdom that my father shared when things were really tough, when things were not going as great as they're going now. And he used to tell me, he said, this anxiety that you're feeling, these emotions that you're feeling, he goes, this is what it feels like to be on the verge of greatness. And this business can change a person's life. I mean, you've experienced the rags to riches stories, and I think you go through everything in life for a reason, so that you can be able to relate with people better. And this business is all about relationships. It's all about being able to relate with people, and that's why I recommend your book so highly, is because you really need to make a decision to get great at the things that you need to get great at to master this business, because it's we're not doing rocket science. We're not landing a man on the moon. I mean, this is pretty basic stuff. But the more you do it, the better you get at it, and so I'm a huge fan of personal development and Success Magazine and Darren Hardy and all of that, and so it gets back to it when you look at a company and you say, hey, they've got the same products, they've got the same compensation plan. What is the difference? What makes a person succeed versus making a person fail? And it's the level of desire that a person brings. And no matter where you start at, I mean, I have a high school education. I had to take 6 classes my senior year of high school and summer school my junior year just to get enough credits to graduate. And so I am not a scholastic genius. My secret to success is I surround myself with people that are smarter than I am. And you need to have that same philosophy when you're talking to people about your business. I mean, you don't want to sponsor, and I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but you don't want to sponsor down. You don't want to sponsor with people that have less skill set than you. You want to be able to attract people that have a higher skill set than you. And the biggest reason why a person would look at this business is for leverage. It's to be able to leverage your time, and it's funny how you go through life utilizing other people's talents and abilities. In the car you drive, to the television you watch, the computer you're watching this on. You didn't create this. a lot of people came together to be able to create this, and yet when it comes to a person's income, sometimes they get this mentality that they need to be 100% of them. They need to do it all themselves. And the leverage that network marketing allows you to do is allows you to tap into the talents and the abilities and the skill sets of people all over the world to be able to help you develop an income. And the more people that you help, the bigger your income is going to be. And the bigger your income is, the more excited I get, because it's just a barometer of how many people that you're helping. And so it is one of those industries that I can't believe every business doesn't use this model, but they don't. So that's our job. But when you go at this, don't think it's all sunshine and daisies. I mean, there's going to be tough times. There's going to be lessons that you're going to have to learn, but you're learning them for a reason. And you just have to get determined that you're going to get great at this business. And so
let me ask you a question, BK. You mentioned your dad. Your dad was a huge influence on you, right?
Absolutely. And my mom. I don't want to leave my mom out.
Yeah. But you mentioned that when you're feeling anxiety,
like I do right now,
that's a clue that there's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Have you found that true? Because I have throughout my career, that restlessness, that feeling of a little bit, there's something else knocking at your door.
I think life is kind of cyclical. I mean, you get ups and downs, and the most important thing is that you're moving forward, not backwards. You can't expect just to be up all the time. And you can't expect to be down all the time, which is great. But yeah, the emotions that you're experiencing, everybody experiences them. It's not that you're immune to it or that I'm immune to it. It's the fact that we just deal with it a little bit differently, and we look at it a little bit differently, and we utilize it a little bit differently. And so when you get out of your comfort zone, when you start encountering the fear of talking to people, or the fear of going to the next level, or the fear that maybe this won't work for you, you need to start doubting your doubts before you doubt your beliefs. And when you look around and you see the people that are successful in this industry, they're just like you. I mean, they may have a little bit different story, but everybody's got a story. Everybody came from somewhere, and whether they had to work as a busboy, making $8 an hour, or mow lawns, to supplement their income. There's people's experiences in this industry that have completely turned their life around, and it all comes back to that level of desire. That's the key. That you need to harness it. And you're going to have the haters. You're going to have the people that say you're a scam and you're a pyramid. I mean, for a network marketing owner to actually say that I think it's taboo, that we're not allowed to say it. But it's reality, and you got to deal with realities when you want to be successful. And the one thing, it's funny. When I got in this business, I used to sell advertising for a big Fortune 50 company, and I did it for 6 or 7 years back in my previous lifetime. And I remember when I started off in this industry. I did it 6 months part-time. I was making $2,000 a month. I said, I can go full-time and eat Kraft macaroni and cheese and make this thing work. And I still remember one of my friends that came up to me and said, you know what, you're going to be back begging for your job in 6 months. and here 20-some years later, I remember this guy. His name was Drew. I remember what he drove. He drove this little Chevy. It was almost like a roller skate. It was such a small little car. And I don't know what he's doing now, but I know what I'm doing now. But you need to take the hate that will come at you for this business, for this industry, and you need to use it as fuel. You need to write it down with a Sharpie on a wall, and get determined that they're not going to be right, that you're going to be right. And it is amazing how many times that I heard his voice in the back of my head tell me I'm going to be back begging for my job, and I just said, you know what, I don't care if somebody no-shows me. I don't care how many meetings I have to do. I don't care how many you know, we didn't have, I was joking about this before we got on the air about fax on demand, and when fax on demand came out, I thought, we can build an empire. You push a fax button and paper comes out, and now we've got, you know, video everything and wireless everything, and you know, able to communicate resources at your fingertips, at your Network Marketing Pro site that are absolutely phenomenal. But here's what's fascinating, is that these resources are available to everybody, but yet few just utilize it. And I think the reason that so few utilize it is because the level of desire isn't there. They haven't suffered enough. They haven't been beat up enough. They haven't gone through enough. They don't have a strong enough desire to say, I want to learn what I need to learn to be able to get great at this business, and I want to change my life, because I'm not going to have Drew become the person that's right and I'm going to be wrong. And
Drew,
so,
we got to
whatever it takes.
We have to track down Drew.
I don't even remember his last name.
Invite him to a convention, have him come up and tell his story about what's happened in his life. That'd be an interesting story.
So public humiliation is a big recruiting factor, right? Here, Drew, look at me, and how are you?
Yeah, well, you know, I have a few of those Drews in my life that, man, I'll tell you what.
The Drew factor.
The greatest gift, the Drew factor, your next book, the greatest gift is when they get in your face and they actually are blatant about it. Mm-hmm. Because if they're really subtle, it can still hurt, but, you know, it doesn't create as much fuel. But when somebody points you in the finger in your face and says you can't do it, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, okay. You know, you're not coming back begging.
What I think I want your listeners to really understand is that it's happened to you, it's happened to me, it's going to happen to them if it hasn't happened already. And when it does happen to them, they need to say, praise God, because I needed some extra fuel to get to where I want to be in my life. Do not let them win. Do not look at this as a bad experience. Just look at it as an experience. And you can take any experience you have in life and you can put it to good, or you can put it to not so good. Take those haters, those friends that just say this because they care about you, that you need to work for somebody for the next 40 years of your life and then retire on a third of the income and you know, just have a meaningless existence. But this is a business where you can make your mark. I mean, I'm just a guy that used to sell advertising, junk mail advertising. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I was like Mad Men or anything like that, but you know, this business can take regular people and just bring out some great things about them, but it takes work. But I mean, how hard would you fight to be able to set yourself up and your family up for the rest of your life? How much rejection, how much hate, how much, you know, would you take? And that's something that only your listeners can answer.
Yeah. Well, BK, I know you had a very busy schedule today and you had a lot of stuff going on. I appreciate you.
Hey, let's talk about your book. Let's talk about your book before we leave here.
Well,
I was lucky enough to get an advance copy, man, and I was impressed, because you are the kind of guy that, you know, I have a limited scholastic experience, but you're the kind of guy that I want to sit next to, because you do all the homework and you let the people around you look at your paper. And that is a really unique quality. You're caring. You want to share freely. You want to see people succeed, and for that you should really be applauded, because I wish I had the time to be able to sit down and write like you write, or the skill set to be able to write like you write, or the experience to be able to write like you write.
You have all of those things. But
and people can just go to Amazon.com and push a button, and this wealth of knowledge appears on their doorstep in a couple days. And then they can just study it, highlight it, read it a couple times. You know, fold make notes in the margins, fold over the pages. So, you know, re-study it. It's critical that people understand that experience is not the best teacher in life. It's other people's experience, and you have a wealth of experience that you make available for, I don't know, what are you charging, $20, $25 for that?
No, $12 and
half price.
Half price.
If you order today, you can get it. But it's worth $12,000 if people realize how they can take this and leverage this book and this knowledge into into tangible income and tangible results for their families.
Well, I'm grateful for you, and thanks for your kind words, and thanks for your time and your value today. I know it's going to be something that people are going to want to watch over and over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of BK Boreyko and myself, our wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. You decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next time.